Good morning and welcome to today's meeting of the New York City Campaign Finance Board. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 17, 2023 meeting. I'm going to make an oral correction, which will then be made in the written form, and will then approve the minutes subject to that correction. The correction is that Board member Dawn Smalls, it states in the current draft, did not participate in consideration of a particular matter, and that should read that Ms. Smalls recused herself from participation because she had been a candidate in the public advocate election of that year. So we'll make this, so subject to that correction, I move that we approve the minutes from July 17. Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions? The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is my report, which will be very brief. We are nearing the end of the summer and the November general elections are less than 10 weeks away. Today, the board will be voting on the third of 5 public funds payments that are to be issued ahead of the 2023 general elections. The board will also be voting on enforcement actions from 2 2019 special elections, and in addition to 3 709 petitions that had previously been ruled on by the chair and are now subject to either ratification or disapproval by the rest of the board. I would just also mention one other matter, which is that we are beginning the process of looking for a new executive director of the Campaign Finance Board. The posting, I think, is now up. It went up on Friday, but there was a glitch in the city system, and so it's being worked on. But I think by the end of today, it will be back up again. Anybody who is listening to this broadcast, if you are interested in applying, please go to the city job site, and we will be proceeding with that process through this fall, and hopefully we'll have it done sometime later in the fall. With that, the next item on the agenda is the report from our executive director.
Thank you. I just have a brief report. I just want to commend all of the staff members who have been working so hard to process the disclosure statements and prepare for the payments, including working over numerous weekends throughout the summer. So I just wanted to commend them for all of their hard work and diligence in working towards getting these payments made.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is a vote to ratify the chair's August 10 public funds payment determinations. These were pursuant to our procedures. The chair is authorized to approve those payments, which I did for August 10th. And I'll now call on another board member to make a motion to ratify those determinations.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion carries. We now turn to today's public funds payments, and I'll ask our Executive Director, Amy Loprest, to lay out what those payments are.
Okay. In Council District 1, Christopher Marte, $33,212. Also in District 1, Helen Q, sorry if I mispronounced that name, $12,008. In City Council District 4, Keith Powers, $60,260. In City Council District 6, Diane DeStasio, $78,090. In City Council District 12, Kevin C. Riley, $2,351. In Council District 13, Christy Maramato, $722. In Council District 15, Oswald Felix, $43,700. In Council District 18, Amanda Farias, $1,472. In District 19, Tony Avella, $30,499. Also in Council District 20, Chin Lang Chen, $143,298. Also in Council District 20, Yu Ching Pai, $19,038. In Council District 22, Tiffany Caban, $131,100. Also in Council District 22, Kelly Klingman, $65,953. In Council District 24, James Gennaro, $712. In Council District 25, Fatima Bariab, $37,240. In Council District 26, Marvin Jeffcoat, $8,417. In Council District 29, Sujinder Najjar, $17,594. And also in Council District 29, Lynn Schulman, $5,715. In Council District 38, Alexa Avia, $96,839. In Council District 40, Rita Joseph, $43,700. In Council District 43, Vito Labella, $63,802. Also in Council District 43, Ying Tan, $42,104. In Council District 44, Harold Tischler, $6,080. Also in 44, Kalman Yeager, $768. In Council District 47, Ari Kagan, $71,059. In Council District 48, Amber Adler, $6,369. Also in District 48, Igor Kazakastner, $4,902. And that is it for a total of $1,027,004.
Thank you. I move that the board approve those public funds payments. Is there a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the announcement of campaigns and compliance. The following candidates have completed the post-election audit process without any violations and penalties assessed by the Campaign Finance Board. The board recognizes the diligence of the candidates and their campaign staff in running campaigns that maintain compliance with New York City's campaign finance law. Of these campaigns, 3 are first-time candidates with the CFB. These are all from the 2021 election cycle, and the candidates are Cecilia Cortez, who was a candidate for City Council District 40 and was a first-time candidate. Catherine Gioino, a candidate for City Council District 22. She was also a first-time candidate. And Denise Kean Smith, a candidate for City Council District 26, also a first-time candidate. Reginald Swiney, a candidate for the City Council seat in District 36. And Kalman Yeager, candidate for City Council District 44. The next item on our agenda is a vote to grant expenditure limit relief with a list of certain districts. So let me give the background to that. So pursuant to Administrative Code Section 3-7063A, if a non-participating candidate has either spent or received an aggregate amount that exceeds half the applicable expenditure limit The expenditure limit for all participating candidates in that race shall be increased to 150% of the ordinary limit. Further, if a non-participant either raises or spends an aggregate amount that exceeds 3 times the expenditure limit, the expenditure limit is removed for participants in that race. While participants may petition the board for such expenditure limit relief, the act mandates that the board dispense such relief without being requested. Based on the financial activities reported as of Disclosure Statement 7, filed on August 25th, our staff has determined that one non-participant has raised more than 3 times the expenditure limit, and the expenditure limit in that race should be lifted completely. And in addition, 2 non-participants have raised more than half of the expenditure limit for the 2023 election. So the expenditure limit for these races should be increased to 150%. Accordingly, I move, pursuant to our staff's recommendation, that we increase the applicable expenditure limit for all participants in the general election in City Council Districts 17 and 31 to 150% of the normal limit. That is, the new spending limit in those races would increase from $207,000 to $310,500. And further, that we lift the spending limit entirely for all participants in the general election in City Council District 28. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you. We have 2 candidates from the special election for a public advocate from 2019, as to whom there are proposed penalties and or funds repayment. The candidates are not contesting the staff's recommendation with respect to those penalties, and therefore we find it unnecessary to go into deliberations. All members of the board have read the materials and are aware of the analysis. And so with that, I will summarize with respect to the 2 candidates the proposed penalties and repayment. Before I do that, I'd like to note that board member Dawn Smalls will once again be recusing herself from any participation in the consideration or vote with respect to these candidates, inasmuch as Dawn was herself a candidate for public advocate in that special election. So the first candidate, we'll do these all together, is Michael Blake. And we are proposing to find the following violations and impose the following penalties. 1, failing to document transactions, $100. 2, failing to report transactions in daily pre-election disclosure statements, $250. 3, failing to demonstrate compliance with intermediary reporting and documentation requirements, violation but no penalty. 4, failing to demonstrate that spending was in furtherance of the campaign, $125. 5, making impermissible post-election expenditures, $1,184 for total recommended penalties of $1,659. The second candidate is Rafael Espinal Jr. The board proposes to find the following violations and impose the following penalties. 1, failing to report transactions in daily post-election disclosure statements, $250. 2, accepting over the limit contributions, $5,050. 3, accepting contributions from corporations and a limited liability corporation, $1,000, for total penalties of $6,300. In addition, there is a required public funds repayment payment, sorry. A public funds payment that is due to the campaign of $40,770, which results in a net payment to the campaign of $34,470. I move that we make those findings and impose those penalties and payment obligations. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion. You're right. And there is a recusal, not an abstention, with respect to Board Member Smalls. Thank you. The next item on our agenda concerns three Rule 709 petitions that were previously ruled on by me, by the chair, and are now up for consideration by the full board. So I'm going to take these in two groups. The first of the ones I want to consider is that of Jinliang Chen. His Rule 709 petition was granted by the chair. And I'll ask the board, another member of the board, to make a motion to ratify the granting of that petition. So moved. There's a moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The next two we'll take as a group. They are candidate Charles Castro and candidate Paperboy Prince. Their Rule 709 petitions were denied by the chair. And after extensive reconsideration and legal analysis, the board is of the view, including your chair, that those petitions were denied erroneously. And so I will make the motion myself to, in effect, overrule my earlier decision and not to ratify the denial by the chair, but instead to grant these petitions. The issue in these cases involve the late filing of the necessary documentation with the Conflicts of Interest Board. The candidates in both cases did file late, but in due course, they did file to the satisfaction of the Conflicts of Interest Board, and it is within the board's discretion under the statute in those cases to grant payment, although the statute indicates that as a result of the late filing of the papers with the Conflicts of Interest Board, the payment may be delayed, which it was and will be in this case. But at the time that the petitions were filed, the paperwork with the Conflicts of Interest Board had been completed. And therefore, I will move that the board grant the Rule 709 petitions of candidates Castro and Prince. Is there a second to that motion? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. That concludes our business for today. I will move for that we will go into executive session where we have some things to discuss, but no actions to take. And we will adjourn directly from our executive session. So that is my motion. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We're done for today.